Hello, Canada. Welcome back to another edition of the Canadian Citizen Journal. I'm your host, alias Tagai. We've got a pile of stuff I'm going to try and rapid fire through here today. I'm going to start off with some of the sign damages going on. We're going to get kind of into more of what Carney... This guy is... Everything he does is just... There's no end to the evil of him and Brookfield and all of these cabal. We're going to dabble, of course, into a little bit of the Carney and Poilievre rallies as of late to keep everybody up to par, so everybody sees the actual numbers. And then just a pile of other things. We're just going to, like I said, I'm just going to kind of rattle this stuff off, try and get it as fast as we can. We're going to start off with Barbara Ball. This is a little video she put out. It's, of course, this is in Carney's riding, what used to be Chandra Arya's, till they kicked him out in order to get the appointed prime minister a seat. Anyways, let's just hear it right from Barbara.
Hello, Nepean. It's Barbara Ball, your Conservative candidate. In a democracy, the right to free speech is sacred. It's common knowledge that the Barbara Ball team is very organized. Our signs were up very early in the campaign. Many of our wooden stakes are marked with blue tops and NCA for Nepean Conservative Association written on them. Now, we are discovering that hundreds of our signs are missing. We have found many of our signs in the garbage. We have also discovered empty holes and, in other instances, wooden stakes with blue tips and NCA written on them, bearing my opponent's red sign. When people resort to criminal behavior, they are undermining the democratic process itself. This is unacceptable. Our community deserves better. We must stand united against such actions, which tarnish the democratic ideals that we hold dear.
I urge everybody out there, always check the ring, your cameras. If you see anything suspicious, just try to nonchalantly kind of wiggle your way out, grab your phones and record this. This is breaking the law. These people can be charged. And we literally got to start exposing this because it's rampant. It's everywhere. I'm seeing this stuff everywhere. It's ridiculous. Now, this is the sign. This is one of the best signs I have seen. Liberals, if you're asking me for my vote, you're asking for more than I'm willing to give. Signed a veteran. I love it. Ah, man, I love it. We should try and raise a bunch of money and get a bunch of these signs out and take them to a lot of the legions. I'm sure they'd be just, well, the veterans I know, if they had this sign, they'd put it up. Guaranteed they'd put it up. I'm going to be looking into it to see where he got this sign from when I'm done getting this episode on the air. Now, let's take a close listen to Mr. Mark Carney.
From my understanding, some of the campaign was pushing positive narratives about you. Why do you think that China, the PRC, seems to like you? Why are they praising you?
I have absolutely no idea, and I have absolutely no idea, and I think I'll leave it at
that. Now, like I said, I showed on that previous episode how literally our mainstream has now become part of the China foreign interference by echoing the lie that there's good and bad. They're saying that it was targeting him. No, it wasn't. I'm going to point this out. This is priceless. Kevin Wong, are you fluent in reading Chinese or speaking Mandarin? Dr. Burton is, and he reviewed the source material. Charles Burton, I read the WeChat document in question. It is not targeting Mr. Carney. It is strongly supporting him. Couple examples. The only adult in the room. Rock star economist. Mainstream media is now literally proven itself to be the propaganda arm of not just the liberals, but of the Chinese Communist Party. And by the end of this video, you'll see where we rank on the global stage as an individual, or who are we aligned with. Now, let's get to this whole housing. He did a housing speech. Listen very carefully to what he has to say.
Fabricated and modular housing are the future. They can drive down time to completion by up to 50%. They can reduce costs by up to 20%, emissions by over 20% compared to traditional construction methods. And Canada should be the world leader in this new industry. And as you can see here, we're already well positioned to do so. Prefabricated and modular housing are the
Brookfield
future.
Business Partners to
They can
acquire
drive
Modular
down
Group,
time to
which they
completion.
did. Ran it through Grok. Yes, Brookfield is involved with modular housing and prefab homes. Through its subsidiary, Brookfield Asset Management, the company has investments in the real estate sector that included manufacturing and modular housing. Specifically, back in 2021, Brookfield Business Partners, a part of the broader Brookfield ecosystem, acquired Modular Group for approximately $5 billion. Modular Group is a leading provider of modular accommodations with a portfolio of around 260,000 units globally, catering to various sectors, including housing. This acquisition reflects Brookfield's interest in efficient, scalable housing solutions. Now, something else that the media is touching on every now and then, they also are one of the largest owners of mobile home parks. That in certain areas where the costs have now skyrocketed, they just started to sell off. Huge profits. Buy it low, sell it high. Create the problem, and profit from it. This is what these businesses do. And this is the final goal for all of those Liberal supporters out there. This is what the NDP, this is literally what the NDP want, and this is what the Liberals want. They will give taxpayer-funded loans to huge corporations to build these. This houses 20,000 people. That's where they're pushing us. That's where they want Canada to be. Married to their system forever. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Not. Listen to these wise words from Mr. Harper.
And friends, it's no secret that our country faces today another historically challenging time in the form of the Trump administration. There is no sugarcoating that. But the bulk of the problems that afflict our country, falling living standards, declining employment and housing opportunities, rising crime, the growing divisions between our regions and our people, these were not created by Donald Trump. They were created by the policies of 3 Liberal terms, policies that the present Prime Minister supported and wants a 4th Liberal term to continue. Pierre has consistently opposed those policies. Policies that have put costs up, accelerated crime, left our wealth in the ground, and made our economy vulnerable and under America's thumb. And Pierre has, just as importantly, long advocated the positive alternatives for change, to axe those taxes, build homes, bring back jobs, get our resources to the whole world. And stand up to Washington from a position of strength. Friends, I believe that the challenge this country faces today from the United States, as real and serious as it is, should not be another excuse for Liberal failure. Instead, it should be a historic opportunity. That's how we've got to see it. An opportunity to make Canada what it should be. Internally united, internationally connected, a truly independent economy with the highest living standards in the world. And with those benefits, enjoyed not just by protected elites, but by all the people of this country in every region of this country.
Well said. Well said. And now, in the meantime, what is the government doing? Canada's Liberal Cabinet just recently secretly authorized spending another $40.3 billion of our taxpayer wealth on their programs in the middle of an election. How'd they do this? They did it by an order in council. Media coverage? Nada. Zilch. Nothing. The worst part about this entire thing, not only is it because we have no money left, this is just drawing more debt that we can't afford, which is going to drive up inflation, which makes who money? Carney money. This is the worst part about it. Thank you, Western Standard, for breaking it down. They authorized, of the $40 billion plus dollars, 178 million, 154,676,000 of it is going to go straight to, you guessed it, the CBC. You can't make this stuff up. Where's the media? Oh, right. They're all getting more checks to keep this socialist, leftist, global cabal, China-infiltrated party in power. This country has been destroyed. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We got to put these people out of business. CBC and them don't deserve the time of day. Where are we today? Thanks to the Liberals after 10 years. Homicide up 33%. Auto theft up 39%. Theft over 5,000 up 49%. Identity theft up 121%. Firearm crimes up 136%. Child sexual abuse up 141%. Human trafficking 210%. Extortion 429%. And child 565%. It's up. This is crazy. In the meantime, who's getting the endorsements? Poilievre. Sioux Police Association endorses Hugh Stevenson and Pierre Poilievre. Durham Regional Police Association endorses Pierre Poilievre. They're coming more and more and more. Now check this out. This is a heartwarming moment. Look at Poilievre's wife, Anita. How emotional she gets hearing this story. And watch what a true Canadian would do. This is the leader that Canada needs right now.
She was murdered in this community. IPV is important to this community. We have been affected. This is my best friend. She was murdered.
This is my sister.
This is her. She was murdered in this community a year and a half ago by her partner, and she loved you, and she was murdered in front of her 12-year-old daughter in her house, along with 3 children, and we need change.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, this is our best friend, sister, and she believed in you, we believe in you, but we need change for
Our
this.
families are going through hell.
Right? So it's so important to us. I know you talked about it Friday in Quebec, and it's just such a huge mission of ours. Like, we are advocating for it. We started a non-profit in her memory, and we're just trying to do everything we can because this community will never be the same from the events that happened on October 23rd, 2023. So it's just means everything for
Thank
us.
you for starting the change.
Thank you so much, guys.
Appreciate it.
We're going to do this change in her honor.
I appreciate that.
We really,
Thank you,
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you.
We'll get you.
I love the work. Oh, so important, but it's really important. Thank you very much. It means a lot to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anita.
See you
You are the change.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
I will be voting for you too.
You guys keep me going. I'm very moved by this. Do you have any contact information we can stay in touch?
Yeah, she had your she believed in you, right? So she was a huge fan. For sure. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you have any contact information so we can keep in touch? I'm just in shock. Now take a look at Anita while she's walking away. Look at the emotions on her face.
Thank you.
She's literally
Thank you.
distraught.
Thanks,
She's in
guys.
tears.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Salvage. Thank you. Yes, I did. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
I can take it.
Thank you.
Is
Say
that a
hello.
kid?
I can take it.
I think I did.
I think I did. Everybody's important. Every Canadian is important. That's how a leader should be. We expect so little nowadays from the leaders that we have. Well, not us. I got a great fan base. And thank you all, by the way, all the new subscribers, all the great conversations. I just absolutely love talking with you guys. And thank God I've got a very high standard for the ethics on violations, community standards, that a lot of the hate that I do get just gets literally taken off immediately. I don't even see it. I do get flags. Sometimes I'll open it up and look through it. It's horrible. And there are a few that are on there. Some of them I try to talk to, but others you can see they're just trying to pick a fight. Don't give them the time of day. Just scroll past. Just scroll past them. Just ignore them. That's what we got to do. Let's just move on. Here's our real GDP. Real GDP. Now, it states right at the top that Ireland, of course, is inflated because they have had so many pharmaceutical companies bringing billions and trillions of dollars into their economy. So that's why Ireland is inflated as it is. But check out this chart. Look at how many countries are on this chart. Okay. The States is just above the middle. They're sitting around 19%. The middle is about Israel and Spain. Look at this at the very, very, very bottom of the barrel, the bottom of the list, drowning in liberal fecal matter, is Canada at 1% growth. Does the media tell you this? No, they don't. No, they don't. Now, I want you to listen very carefully. This guy pretty much says, he explains the tariffs pretty straight out, that Carney has imposed on Canadians. We don't get hit by the Trump tariffs. Yes, it does affect the industries. There's a way to help that. Pierre pulled out a great one. Let's just take the GST off cars. Right away, that'll save $2,500. It'll make the Canadian cars cheaper than the American cars. Why raise the prices on everything when we can deflate the prices on Canadian goods and make them more accessible and easier to buy? Promote Canada. Instead of poking the bear and costing every Canadian, why don't we save Canadians and save the industry at the same time? This is true economics. But this won't get Carney elected. Instead, he wants tariffs. He wants the tariff war. He wants it because the media is using this. And if Canadians start seeing and feeling this impact of tariffs, most of them are too simple. They're too brainwashed by propaganda media. And they think this is all Trump. And it's not Trump. This is done by the Prime Minister of Canada.
It will have negative implications for the Canadian auto sector and for consumers because it's the citizens of the country that applies the tariff that pay that tariff. And so likely this will feed into higher costs for motor vehicles.
There it is right there. Any economist can tell you that. Any tariffs that our Prime Minister, our appointed leader, puts in is a cost on Canadians. Remember that when the prices start to go up while they start stirring the stick and trying to create fear, hate, and division. Now, I want you to listen carefully to this. This is quite important. Look who Canada is aligned with.
Left of this wall, those who've offered concessions, those who've retaliated, China and Canada. And Canada, of course, tried to take a case against the United States yesterday to the World Trade Organization. We'll follow that and see how that goes. That's mostly political.
Mostly political. Everybody down there knows that Carney's using this to try and get elected. Canadians are going to suffer and already are suffering because of the Liberal government and Dougie, which I pointed out on a previous episode. And I pointed out again on a few episodes back, the stupidity of the whole idea of this fear, hate, and division to get elected. Where's our Canadianism? 20 years ago, everybody would have stood back and went, whoa, get this guy out of here. But now, the propaganda is so great. Every single media outlet that controls the airwaves and TV waves, CRTC regulated, given their gift of the golden ticket to spread lies, fear, hate, and division, they're the ones that have caused this. All of this. Look at the two flags in the middle. Retaliated. The EU threw out an offer of 0 for 0 tariffs, but it wasn't written in stone. They've been getting pressured huge because Brookfield stock is plummeting. The global cabal are the largest losers in this entire tariff. The global elite are the ones that are suffering. Like 97% of the people don't even know how to invest in stocks. The few that are usually forced, like here in Canada, through an RSP plan or a different type of diversified investment that the government says, well, you invest into this and then we'll do this and we'll give you a tax write-off. And I've up to 7 people now who have contacted me and said they have gone in and they've looked at their portfolios and Brookfield is on there multiple times. So I urge you, if you have the time, go into your banks and you tell them, get Brookfield off my portfolio, and that you don't want anything invested with any of these companies that do the harm they're doing, especially to third world countries, let alone the devastation they've caused to Canada. And let's get these guys' stock to plummet so hard and so fast that they literally have no power. It's very possible to do. Just we need to do it on a mass scale. Like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word.
Possible retaliation. You see the European Union, although they were offering to take trade to 0, which would be interest tariffs to 0, and then no retaliation, Mexico. Your take on this, Lydia?
Now, piles of negotiation. And now instead of what's the media saying, oh, they're all mad at Trump again. Trump, remember? Ready? Get the ball. They're not talking about the obvious. They're not talking about the truth. Instead, ready? Go get the ball. It's all Trump. It's not Trump. They're all mad at him saying, oh, he's saying that, oh, he's told them that all these countries are kissing his butt. Well, guess what? They are. They are. Welcome to the real world. Just the truth. Sorry. Moving on. Here's the lineup to Carney's rally. I said I was going to show you the rallies, kind of keep everybody up to speed on how the rallies are going. Look at this lineup. Huge lineup. Oh, wait, sorry. That's to the food bank. My bad. This is Carney's rally. My bad. Sorry, everybody. Sorry.
So already, compared to Pierre Poilievre's protest,
in Calgary,
this is quite a small line compared to what we saw yesterday, just south of Edmonton.
Little recap of Edmonton's. Hours before the rally even started, these people were showing up. Here's a look inside Carney's rally. They said, well over 900 people. Keane was there. He said he counted, I think it was 113. And you got to remember the entourage that always follows Carney. There's over 100 and some of the police. He brings every MP and he tries to get as many of the staffers as he can to make the numbers look greater than they are. No problem walking through the crowd. In Calgary. One of the Prairie's largest cities, people. Here's Poilievre in Sioux. Population just over 72,000. There's more people on the balcony than were at the Carney rally. I'm just kidding, not quite, but close to it. And this is a little bit early. It actually ended up getting, more people actually came in afterwards. Listen carefully. This is a real leader.
December, when Mark Carney was still running Brookfield and economic advisor to Trudeau, he talked about a deal he had worked out where his whole idea was to change government policy and then have Brookfield invest. This was about jet fuel in Texas, where they convinced governments to bring in 10% biofuel by 2030, biofuel being about 80 cents per liter more expensive. So he is both advising, and then his company is signing $1 billion deal to profit. Stephen.
Now remember, All of mainstream are there. They could, if they were real journalists, if they were real media, they could have ran this on CBC. But they didn't. This is what they hide. It's as good as a lie. It's the same thing. Propaganda. This was a very good question, considering that we have evidence, literally video evidence of Carney saying how he manipulates the system in order to profit from it, breaking how many rules, ethic violations right off the hop. Crickets from the media. Crickets.
Gerald Butts and Carney's own wife, Diana Fox, is involved in the same kind of consulting. What kind of impact has this kind of way of doing business had on the Canadian people and on the Canadian economy?
Well, it's crony capitalism. It works against these people behind me. Let's just unpack what Mr. Carney did in this particular case. He used his political power to convince the British government to require more expensive jet fuel for air travel. And then his company invested $1 billion in the company that was selling that jet fuel. So if, God forbid, a family like the people behind me here want to take their kids on a vacation somewhere, they have to pay higher airplane ticket prices to fund this more expensive jet fuel so that Mark Carney's $1 billion investment can pay off. Mr. Carney is not a businessman. He is a political grifter who has used his political influence to turn decisions that profit his company at the expense of workers and seniors. And that is exactly how he would govern the country. While he was Justin Trudeau's economic advisor, he went on the record saying that he thought there should be more inflation. He thought it would be good if there was more inflation. Well, it turns out Brookfield, his company, profits from inflation. They get to charge higher rents on their tenants, according to their CEO. So he has used his political influence to rip off workers and seniors. And now, with all the political power of a prime minister, he continues to be invested in the same company, Brookfield, the same company that benefits by raising inflation, by raising energy prices, and by ripping off workers and seniors. Today's announcement is another example of that. How would Mark Carney ever be trusted to make our tax system fair when he's invested in a company that has billions of dollars of cash stashed away in an overseas tax haven? Of course, he never would. We need a prime minister who will put Canada first for a change.
He's absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct. This should be on mainstream. But it's not, because it's the propaganda arm of not only Canada, but of China, which I've proven in previous episodes. If you're a new subscriber, please check it out. It's all there. It's all there. I expose Brookfield. I expose Carney. I got 3-part series on the whole Trudeau, the Calistini takeover. I open up a lot of things that mainstream is hiding from you. Let's move on. This is disgraceful. This is Anthony Housefather. Listen to what he wrote. Thanks so much. They scratched out the name. Everyone in my riding just needs to understand the ballot question is, do you want to rehire me or fire me? You vote for a person, not a party in our system. That's a lie. We can see that. Christopher Freeland and all of them, they got in front of all of these big late night shows and they were out there saying, well, what separates our system is we don't vote for the president. We don't vote for the leader. We vote for the people who represent each certain riding. Bullshit. If that was true, all these polls would be wrong. The party would still be at 12%, 15%. It's bullshit. They sell the leader. Remember when the Liberals first were running, when they're trying to make their comeback and all that money was being influenced and all the propaganda that was pushing? Who were they pushing? It was Trudeau. Trudeau's name was on every sign. And then in the last 2 elections, they started pulling his name off the sign to the point where you didn't see Trudeau anywhere, trying to save. And now what is it? Carney. And to be honest, the Conservatives are horrible for the English-speaking minority in Quebec, so wow is us if they win the big majority it currently looks like. So in other words, the polls are lying. The Liberals are freaking out. Right there. It says it. And all English-speaking Quebec will need me there to fight for them on what they would do using the notwithstanding clause. Remember, Mount Royal is a riding that I won 58 to 24 in the last election. The Jewish vote is 25% of the riding. I could win even if I lost the Jewish vote. But if I did, I would wonder why I spent 80% of my time fighting for the Jewish community for the last 8 months, and they voted to fire me. All the best. He just betrayed his own people. He's not really Jewish anyways. I don't believe it, because if he was, he would have walked away from this party a long time ago, watching what's going on in the streets with all these pro-Hamas supporters. This guy's disgusting. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you have any family members that are, thinking about voting Liberal again, that if you're, especially if you're from an Israeli or Jewish family, make sure that you show them this. This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now, one last clip for the end of the episode. This is priceless. Absolutely priceless.
Do you think Mr. Carney understands Quebec?
I think he does not give a damn. It is a problem for him to be forced to try to speak French, and he doesn't like it, and he does not really understand. And then he will have to come in a debate against two guys who speak French pretty well, still improving. He doesn't like us so much. He will never say that he does not like us, but I don't feel the love. I don't feel interest for Quebec. I don't feel interest for the difference. I don't feel interest for the language. I don't feel interest for the culture. I don't feel interest for anything which is Quebec. He doesn't say the words lumberwood. He doesn't say the word aluminum. He doesn't say the word fisheries. He doesn't say the word aerospace. He doesn't. What defines us is not even part of his vocabulary. He still has 3 weeks to show that even in minority, it wouldn't be so bad. Because for the time being, I don't see what's good for Quebec in it.
Do you think Mr.
And he's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Now, by the way, Mo is trying to get on the air. He's trying to bring the recognition of these Chinese tariffs and what they're doing to the prairies, the East, and the West Coast fisheries. The tariffs that have been put on are 10 times worse. They have 20 times the impact on population than Trump's tariffs do. That's a fact. These farmers are out getting ready to put seed in the ground with a 100% tariff from China on them. This is the reality. Don't get caught up in the, ready, fetch the ball. The States isn't our big problem. Our big problem is China. Yeah, the flag that they fly above Canada every time that we're shown around the world. Chinada is what kind of has been ringing around, and I hear it often enough that I'm starting to say it because it's a reality, especially with our propaganda media helping them out. It's absolutely embarrassing. You just can't make this stuff up, people. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hey, and I want to send out a personal thanks to all my new subscribers. And the conversations that you guys have in the comments, absolutely phenomenal. There's so many great Canadians in Canada. I really, the polls are full of crap. They're full of crap. There's just, everywhere I go, all the people I talk to, outside as well as on all of these platforms, you guys and girls are all absolutely amazing. And for the few lefties that get on there and they're out there just to pick a fight, just ignore them. Don't give them the air. Don't give them the time of day. Don't shine a light on them. They don't need it. I'm fortunate. I set my standards really high, and I let the community standards deal with them. Most of that crap gets pulled off right away when they post it because these people, the vitriol, the hate, just the lies rhetoric that comes out of their mouths isn't allowed. It's not allowed. So it's a good thing. I will go in there every now and then just to get a little bit of a chuckle because you get to see how stupid some people really are. Thank God it's a small demographic. But I just wanted to make sure I tell everybody out there how much I appreciate that and help me grow the channel like it's been growing. It's hey, From the heart, guys. Seriously, amazing. Thank you very much. And like I said, the comments and conversations have been just fabulous. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope I kept you all in tune. It's just the truth. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you are, punch that notification bell so that you don't miss any previous episode or any coming episodes. And it helps me grow the channel. All of the above does. So until next time, you've been watching the Canadian Citizen Journal. I've been your host, Alias Tagai. Stay informed.